on set. Places, everybody. And action.
It's time once again for the Hooked on Movies podcast. Today, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of arguably one of the greatest movies and or trilogies of all time. You be the judge. Of course, we're talking about Back to the Future. And we have a special guest with us today, superfan Justin.
Woo!
Yay!
Woo! Woo!
So with us, as always, are Ken.
So, Justin, since you're kind of new here, I'm going to cut you a break today. So why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
And Ted.
Eric, last night Darth Vader came down from planet Vulcan and told me that if I didn't take Lorraine out, that he'd melt my brain.
And of course, Justin.
Never seen purple underwear before.
Interesting.
And I am Eric. And if my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious shit.
Great
Yeah.
Scott.
All right.
Problem
So
is
we
movie's
are
not
excited.
quotable.
It's not,
Oh,
I
it's-
know.
There are some good quotes in this movie, though.
This whole movie is filled with good quotes. What are you talking about?
Unless you're Eric Stoltz.
Unless you're Eric
Yeah,
Stoltz.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you're
Mr.
Eric Stoltz.
Method
Poor
actor.
Eric Stoltz.
Does Eric
No.
Stoltz think he's Daniel Day-Lewis or something?
In this movie, he apparently did. So, as always, we like to thank everyone for listening to this podcast, our friends on the Dorkening Network, and all the other great sites that you can find us on. So, let's get into it. Ken, first time you saw it,
In the
this
theater.
movie.
First week.
1985, huh?
Lucky Ducky.
Saw all three movies at the theater. But yeah, most importantly, this one.
Wow. And Ted?
So my dad was member of Columbia House Video Club, and he bought it.
Now you're
and
dating
this-
yourself.
Yeah, exactly, right? This was one of his purchases, and I remember watching it on VHS.
Did your dad stiff Columbia House on the bill like everyone else did?
I don't think so. He was pretty above board on everything, but I know that BMG is still looking for me.
Oh, yeah. BMG Direct Marketing,
I
RCA's
had-
the redheaded
had-
stepchild RCA, yeah.
Yeah, I had at least 6 accounts. Yeah.
Justin, how about you, man? Where'd you first see this one?
This would be VHS rental from Coming Attractions in Southington, Connecticut. Rented it
Oh my
and
goodness.
watched it on VHS.
Awesome.
Wow.
sauce.
Yeah, me too, man. Not from Southington,
Was
Connecticut,
it Video
but
Villa?
No,
They-
no,
you know, it
we
probably
didn't have
was.
those in the East.
it probably was Video Villa actually, because it was
have a
85.
pizza?
Yeah.
Pizza place attached to it? Or
No.
that's family
No.
video?
That's family
Yeah.
video. Yeah,
Okay.
no, this
You
is
didn't have those
this
either.
is
It was a
40
local
years
video
ago,
store.
baby. 30 years ago, yeah.
The Video Villa in Yorkville, where I worked, had a tanning salon attached to it.
How about
So I
that?
had
No,
to
we-
wipe down the tanning beds and shit.
We went to the one on in Lyle. The Lyle
that's
location.
I think that's the original.
The
that in
original,
Villa
yes.
Park. Yeah.
So it's
Good
not just a
times.
clever
They were
name.
good. They were good people. They
Yeah.
really were.
Unless you lost one of the videotapes and they made you pay
Oof.
retail
Well,
price.
yeah, I'm sure.
Or you left it in the car and it melted.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We'll put it this way: they were nice to the employees. We'll put it
I'm
that way.
sure they were. Nothing like paying $90 for No Way Out. So
Yowie.
Oh, Rutger
Yeah.
Hauer.
no, the Kevin Costner one.
Oh my god, that's a rough go, yo.
Maybe, I
That's
don't know. Was
rough.
Rutger Hauer in that one? I can't remember.
He's
So-
in everything.
He's in everything. So, all right, Ted. Let's keep it under 5 minutes. The particulars of
Okie dokie.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future was directed by Robert Zemeckis with a screenplay by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale. The music and score is iconically produced by Alan Silverstreet. It has a running time of 116 minutes. It was released July 3rd, 1985. Happy 4th of July. It had a budget of $19 million, but it had a box office gross of, hold on to your pants, $398 million for 1985.
That's impressive.
That is quite impressive. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a critic score of a certified fresh 93% and an audience score of 95%. No surprises on either one of those. And it has an IMDb rating of 8.5. Back to the Future stars. Hold on to your... You're going to see some serious shit. Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly. Christopher Lloyd as Emmett Doc Brown. Leah Thompson as Lorraine Baines McFly. Crispin Glover as George McFly. Thomas F. Wilson as Biff Tannen. James Tolkien as Strickland, Principal Strickland. Claudia Wells as Jennifer Parker, Marty's girlfriend. Mark McClure as Dave McFly, Marty's brother. Wendy Jo Sperber as Linda McFly. Elsa Raven plays the Clock Tower Lady. George DiCenzo plays Sam Baines, Lorraine's dad. Frances Lee McCain stars as Stella Baines, Lorraine's mother. Jason Hervey as Milton, Lorraine's younger brother. Jeffrey J. Cohen as Skinhead. Casey Simasco as 3D. And Billy Zane as Match. All three of them are the members of Biff's gang. Norman Alden as Lou the cafe owner. Donald Fullilove as Goldie Wilson. Henry Waters as Marvin Berry, Chuck Berry's cousin. And there's two cameos. Huey Lewis from Huey Lewis in the News as a judge at the Battle of the Bands contest. And Courtney Gaines. If you remember him, he's from Children of the Corn, famously. He is Dixon. He's the guy who interrupts George and Lorraine's dance at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance.
Knew him from The Burbs. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, God, yes, that too. Yes, Courtney Gaines was all over. And famously...
That's a great movie, The Burbs.
My ex-wife and I met Courtney Gaines at a horror convention, and we stiffed him $15 on his signature because we didn't know we needed to pay. And he was very nice.
He slipped on some dog shit in the front yard, and
he was very nice about the whole situation.
I was surprised that you didn't mention who played the baby Joey in the crib during this, because that was I was waiting for that. The fact that you didn't tell us who that was, I'm very disappointed right now.
Well, do you know?
Sounds like a tidbit.
No, I relied on you, and you failed me.
I thought I had covered enough of the cast there, but you know.
For once, you sold it short.
I came short. Well, you know.
Yeah, for once.
Oddly enough, for a movie set in 1955, no Jerry Mathers as the beaver.
Right?
Exactly.
Where was the beef? But it is what it is. Ken's disappointed. That's fine. I'll interrupt your tidbits because I have some of my
I never
own
interrupted
tidbits.
any of your stuff.
What should I do?
I got tidbits too.
I don't know what I should do.
I got tidbits.
We'll just keep rolling here. It's time for Ken's tidbits.
Ken's tidbits.
Ken's tidbits.
The first part of this lovely tidbits is that the script was rejected 44 times before it was greenlighted. Biff's catchphrases, "make like a tree" and "get out of here" and "butthead" were improvised by Tom Wilson. The inspiration for this film largely stems from Bob Gale's discovering his father's high school yearbook, and wondering whether he would have been friends with him as a teenager.
I wouldn't have been friends with my dad.
His yearbook, I think, was from 1940, though, so they didn't even have like the verge of rock and roll. So the DeLorean was deliberately selected for its general appearance and gull wing doors. In order to make it plausible, the people in 1955 would presume it to be an alien spacecraft.
Yeah, because didn't they want to title the movie like something Spaceman from Pluto or something?
Yeah, they had all these different names, and because the studio heads didn't care for the name for Back to the Future, because they felt like the word future would turn people off. So the sticker on the back of Doc's truck says one nuclear bomb can ruin your whole day. The original ending of this movie was going to be a nuclear blast that actually made the DeLorean go zoom zoom.
That's terrible.
That's horrible.
I guess Doc Brown would have hid inside a refrigerator.
No, he didn't pull. He didn't pull Indiana Jones.
Isn't that what they wanted to do instead of the DeLorean? Isn't that one of the tidbits?
God.
Yeah, that's what they wanted to do, but then they reused it for the Crystal Skull years later.
And they should have never have done that either, because that was stupid as hell.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg doesn't like to leave anything to go to waste, right?
Yeah, no
He likes
crap.
to use every part of the buffalo.
Jesus criminy.
There's a long tidbit here. This is, of course, about Michael J. Fox and Eric Stoltz. But Michael J. Fox had always been the first choice for Marty, but he was unavailable due to scheduling conflicts with his work on Family Ties. As Family Ties star Meredith Baxter was pregnant at the time, and they were using Fox more than usual to carry the show. Since they couldn't get him, they decided to cast Eric Stoltz as Marty, and based on his performance in Mask of the same year, 1985. After 4 weeks of filming, which added up to roughly 40 minutes of footage, they didn't think that Stoltz was right for the part, and Stoltz agreed and was still paid his full salary. There was an interview with Stoltz where they asked him about this, and he says he doesn't even remember filming.
No bullshit. He remembers it. Give me a break.
I know. According to various cast and crew members, Stoltz was taking the role way too seriously, playing it as he was in a drama, and insisting everybody call him Marty. According to Tom Wilson, who played Biff, most of the crew cheered when Stoltz was fired because they were fed up with his behavior.
And didn't Christopher Lloyd have to be told that
was
Marty
the next line? Thanks for coming on board. All right,
Sorry.
I appreciate that. When Christopher Lloyd was told Stoltz was to be replaced, he asked, "Who's Eric?" After further explanation, he said, "Oh, I really thought his name was Marty." Eventually, Meredith Baxter came back to Family Ties because she had the baby, and they finally agreed with the producers of Family Ties to let Fox make the film and do the show at the same time. So during the day, he would film the Family Ties episodes, and then at night he would do the night episodes of Back to the Future, or night scenes, I should say. And then
most of the movies at night, right?
A lot of it is. And the daytime scenes they filmed during the day on the weekends.
I have a couple of tidbits for you too.
Is this the one about how Michael J. Fox got fired from Pulp Fiction and then replaced by Eric Stoltz?
Is that true?
No.
Oh, Jesus. I was about to say, I know a lot about Pulp Fiction, and I never fucking heard that shit.
That's crazy.
All right, so the part of the script with references to President Ronald Reagan needed to be reviewed by the White House for approval. So not to offend the president, but producers had concerns over Reagan's reaction to Doc Brown's famous line mocking the improbability of him being president in 1985.
He wouldn't have even remembered that he was in the mentioned in the movie anyway.
Nothing
Reagan
to do with
was said
anything
to get
legal.
a real kick out of it. Reagan liked it,
Yeah.
and he actually used the roads in one of his speech, where we go is no road. So he had a sense of humor. I mean, he's an actor; he's got to have a sense of humor.
Back when politicians had senses of humor.
Yeah,
It's a long time ago.
Like constitutionally, that has no pertinence. Like, oh, we put someone's name in a movie.
No.
So what?
John Lithgow was the studio's first choice for the role of Dr. Emmett Brown, but he turned it down due to scheduling conflicts. Christopher Lloyd was a close second choice and was pleased when Lloyd signed on. He originally declined, but his wife convinced him to take on the part. Other people who were considered were Dudley Moore, Jeffrey Tambor,
Dudley Moore.
I could see Jeffrey Tambor.
Michael Gross.
No.
And
that's another Family Ties cast member. They would have just shut down Family Ties for a month.
And Jeff Goldblum.
I can see Jeff Goldblum.
He's not there yet.
He's in everything right now.
This is just before The Fly.
Fly's
86.
He's still very eccentric. He could have pulled this. He could have pulled that off.
So some people that went out from Marty, Johnny Depp, C. Thomas
they
Howell.
didn't even remember that they tested
That
it.
he even tested him. Yeah. That's in my notes here, but I just didn't care.
John
then-
Cryer could
thanks,
have pulled
John
this off,
Cryer.
I think. Yeah.
I don't know. I watched his
Reed,
Maybe
His
he
read
wasn't
it.
attractive
his
enough.
audition.
I didn't particularly care for it. The one I did like was Ben Stiller. I thought Ben
Oh,
Stiller
Wow,
actually.
that would have been a really young Ben Stiller.
Yeah, I think
Holy
Ben Stiller
crap!
could have
Was
pulled
that
it
One
off.
Crazy Summer era Ben Stiller?
Wow, that's really early Ben Stiller.
So those were some people who did that while filming the parking scene, which might be one of my problems with this film. With Marty and young Lorraine in the car, the production crew decided to play a practical joke on Michael J. Fox. The scene was called for Fox to drink from a prop liquor bottle filled with water and do a spit take when he sees Lorraine with a cigarette. But the prop department decided to put real liquor, and of course, Michael J. Fox drank out of it and spit it out. It was pretty funny.
They should have filled it with urine.
They have the outtake on the anniversary edition here. So the film was banned in China for
Oh no!
because it disrespected the history because of time travel. So it just didn't like time travel.
Of course,
Doc Brown's car.
you
is
know,
a
go back in time.
I love Doc Brown's car, by the way. It's a 1950 Packard Super 8 convertible. It is a beautiful looking car, by the way.
All the
And
cars
then-
in this movie are cool.
And then I'll give this as my last tidbit. And then Ted, if you have any more, you can chime in, I guess.
I do.
Twin Pines Mall is in fact Puente Hills Mall in the city of Industrial, California. The JCPenney unfortunately has closed since then, and the whole mall
Big surprise.
is about ready to be closed.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
mean,
It looks like everybody's town mall.
and of course
It does.
it says Twin Pines Mall, but then it's changed to
Changes
One Pine.
to One Pine Mall. Just
Yeah.
Pine
Mhm.
Mall. Yeah.
Because he knocks down the tree.
Right, because he knocks down a tree. It's a good continuity thing that they got going there. So
All right,
I just
Ted.
have a couple of things about the movie itself. The sequels and the film are owned by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale, and they have both said that there will never be in their lifetime will they allow a reboot or a remake of the movie.
so they must die.
Yeah, Gale and Zemeckis actually received fan letters from John DeLorean after the film, and after the film, body kits were made for DeLoreans to make them look like the Time Machine. And as far as the significance of the movie, because what we're talking about is, I think, one of the greatest movies of the 80s. In 2007, it was selected by the Library of Congress for preservation in the National Film Registry. The University of Southern California's film school, which is distinguished, uses this screenplay in its writing classes for the model for the perfect screenplay. The movie holds the record for staying at number 1 at the box office for 3 solid months, and it was ranked number 10 on the AFI's list of greatest films in the genre of science fiction.
Yeah. I had all those, but I left them out because I didn't think they mattered.
Well,
Anyway,
they'd actually
I'd be
do.
curious to. I would be curious to what some of the other perfect screenplays would be.
I'd have to look them up. I'll get back to you on that.
and let's be honest, this wasn't written originally as a perfect screenplay. This was supposed to be a nuclear bomb area that was going to be at the
there
end.
was-
I mean, there's a
and
lot of
some of
luck
the-
involved here.
Yeah, and some of the studio heads came up with some stupid shit. And Spielberg wrote the guy back and said, "We thank you for your silly comments." And he was too embarrassed to say that he was actually being serious about some of his suggestions.
I
One
think
thing,
that a lot of this is held up by the acting too. Like the performance from Doc Brown is iconic. Marty is, I mean, we joke about him, but he's irreplaceable.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
like
they're still
even
making
Lorraine,
Rick and Morty.
Biff, all of them.
Let's put
It's
this
just
way.
fantastic.
if it was Eric Stoltz instead of Michael J. Fox, nobody's going to be
No.
talking about this being the top 10
Yeah.
screenplay of all time.
No.
Because the screenplay would have been still the same. Just would have come off differently. So this movie, there are some problems with this movie. And I'll talk
It's
about
not
those later.
perfect?
So, It's not perfect by any means.
I got two tidbits for you guys. I don't know if anyone saw the Andy Muschietti The Flash movie, maybe about 2 years ago.
Yeah,
they make a reference to this.
Missed it,
right? And he's got a tattoo of Marty McFly as Eric Stoltz on his leg.
Eric Stoltz, yeah.
He's like Stoltzy right here.
The alternative Flash that thinks that Eric Stoltz
that's
was
pretty
in
funny.
To the Future.
I'd asked you guys this before, but if anybody got a chance to see the Back to the Future ride at Universal Studios, had you guys ever gotten a chance to check it out?
No.
So this is a feature on one of the DVDs where you can actually see all the cinematics and everything that leads up to the ride, and then you can actually you can enjoy the ride just sitting and watching. It was on the 30th anniversary edition of the DVD, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because they had Thomas Wilson in it, and they had Christopher Lloyd. Those are the main two people that they brought back, and of course, Tom Wilson's still young at that point. He looks identical. It was great, and I was lucky enough to go on the ride. It's no longer there. They replaced it with the Simpsons ride a couple years ago, maybe about 15, 20 years ago, and they still have a DeLorean and the train there at Universal Studios in Florida.
Well, that's cool.
Is that where you met Mr. Tom Wilson?
No. I met him at a comedy club in Connecticut, at Manchester, Connecticut, called The Funny Bone, and he was doing this whole song about Back to the Future. It was great. I sat front row, and he called me a butthead.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I mean, that just had to be coincidence. So
awesome guy, really, really funny comedian. Like you wouldn't have thought. You're like, oh my god, this guy's solid comedy.
Yeah, it's on YouTube if you ever want to hear the song.
So unless you've been living under a rock for the past 40 years and you're not familiar with the plot, I'm going to read it to you. Back to the Future is a classic science fiction adventure film released in 1985, directed by Robert Zemeckis. The story follows teenager Marty McFly, who lives in the small town of Hill Valley, California. Marty is friends with eccentric inventor Dr. Emmett Doc Brown. One night, Doc Brown reveals to Marty his latest invention, a time machine built from a DeLorean car. During the demonstration, the duo is attacked by Libyan terrorists, from whom Doc stole the plutonium needed to power the time machine. Marty escapes from the terrorists by using the time machine, inadvertently traveling back in time to the year 1955. In 1955, Marty encounters his teenage parents and accidentally interferes with their first meeting, jeopardizing his own existence. He seeks out the younger Doc Brown to help him return to his own time and to ensure that his parents fall in love so he can exist in the future. With Doc's help, Marty devises a plan to use a lightning strike to generate the power needed for the time machine to return to 1985. Marty successfully brings his parents together and, after a suspenseful sequence, returns to his present day, where his family circumstances have dramatically improved. The film ends with Doc Brown arriving from the future, warning Marty and his girlfriend Jennifer about problems with their future children, thus setting up the sequels. Back to the Future blends comedy, adventure, and heart, making it a beloved story about time travel and family. Aww.
One quick tidbit.
Kids become assholes or something?
Yeah, right.
Well, we're going back to the tidbits?
I have to go back to the tidbits because there was one thing that I forgot about these tidbits. So Jennifer, the actress that plays Jennifer, she was also not the original actress either. She actually replaced another actress who was working with Eric Stoltz.
Yeah, it was,
and because of height differences with Michael J. Fox, they replaced her.
And do you know who it was?
It was that lady from The Office.
From The Office, Melora Hardin, who played Jan.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
one of the funniest characters on The Office.
I am going to jump on the tidbit bandwagon here.
Eric's tidbits.
Eric's tidbit. So, have any of you clowns seen this on Broadway?
No, not yet.
No.
Okay. All right. So, one major change on the Broadway version of this, and I don't know how they worked this in or changed it, but I've been told that they eliminated the Libyan terrorists and
Not
how Doc
surprising.
Brown gets the plutonium.
How dare
Yes,
they?
I know, because I know Libya, 1985, Muammar Gaddafi. It's a hot button, but
Captain
they eliminated
Gaddafi's-
that, which changed the whole series, the whole sequence of the Broadway musical, if you will, of this. So
So Doc Brown doesn't.
I'm
die?
waiting for Back to the Future on Ice, personally, starring Mark Hamill and
Starring Dorothy Hamill.
Dorothy Hamill, not Mark Hamill.
yeah.
I don't-
And
I don't
is Mark
think
Hamill
Luke-
dead? He might be.
I
I don't
don't-
know.
You see, kids,
Or-
that's an old
or Tanya
reference
Harding.
to the Olympics from.
It's a 1985
From
reference
yeah.
right there.
Basically, yeah.
That's right. That's
It
right.
comes with a haircut.
That's all right. Let's go into some poignant questions here. Justin, since you're our special guest here, we're going to start off with your opinion.
Special guest referee.
Special guest referee, keep us all in line, right? What are the main themes of Back to the Future, and how do they play out throughout the film? And how do they play out today? Does it
Yep.
hold up? The
on
themes.
the rewatch, I'm going to tell you it definitely holds up, and it holds up to the younger generation. I think that there is an aspect of realizing that your parents are people too, as a theme. Like, that was something that I really picked up on this go round, and I mean, I must have seen this movie 100 times. The relationship that Marty has with his parents, when his parents are kind of like nobodies and all that, it's really non-existent. Like, he sees them and, it's just, he doesn't really care, and doesn't talk about his dad. Like, there's not much there, for them. And, his parents are just kind of like dopes. But after he sees them as kids and stuff, like his age and just what they were like, and starts to realize about them, I feel like it's kind of a coming of age for him. And he experiences growth by realizing that they are people, and I think things are going to be okay, like, for me and all that towards the end. So I think it's like character growth, and like him finding understanding in his relationship with his family, because he doesn't relate like at all to his sister or his brother. Like, they're just there. I don't know if that's like the meant theme, but that's just something that I picked up on this go round.
What is it up?
Would that
with
be
this?
your main theme?
Could be that, or dun, 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 dun. That could be the main theme too.
That could be
I
the
think
main
it's
theme too. Or Back in Time by Huey Lewis.
Power of Love,
That could be
yes.
the main theme.
Back in
Power of Love.
time.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I don't know. You guys
That's right.
see any other like themes here? Because it's very
Yes.
plot driven.
I see one other big theme. I think
What you
that's friendship between Marty and Doc Brown.
Of course, the friends he made along the way.
I mean,
I don't think
if
that
you-
really changed though. Like, it's
I think
you know-
it did. I think there's a bigger appreciation. First of all, Doc gets blown away at the beginning of the movie, right? So he has to deal with the fact throughout the whole movie that Doc's going to die. And how does he deal with that? How does
like
he
giving
tell?
him a letter, letting him
Yeah, he
know
gives
and
him a
changing
letter.
the future.
But throughout the whole movie, he has to wrestle with all that. And that's pretty deep. You have the ability to change history, and do you do it? He's trying to correct history, but then he's also needing to change history because he needs to not see Doc Brown die. It's really weird because, I mean, does their relationship start in 1955 or does the relationship start in 1985? We don't really know, right? It's like, which one came first? You had to go back to the 85 to start the 55 relationship, but he doesn't meet Marty technically till 1985. So it's like mind blown, right? It's like,
Well, that explains though. Like, if you think about like why are they friends? Why does he work with him or anything else like that?
yeah, they
that
don't
certainly
really
explains it.
It explains that, but then
We don't know.
They had to initially meet each other in 1985 for this, then to start being a loop around.
Yeah, it's a real Ouroboros.
I guess
you know?
there's a comic. I guess I guess you have those comic books that came out during those times that kind of tell you backstories. And I guess Doc Brown was looking for an assistant. I guess Marty got in trouble with, stealing speakers. And so he
He stole speakers?
something to that line. And then And that's why we see in the beginning of the film him playing with, the amps.
There was
But
a
I think,
PlayStation game too on PlayStation Network that came out in the early 2000s, like Back to the Future the game, and it had a lot of backstory in this stuff too. So
Interesting.
yeah,
I never knew that.
I will say that it's weird when you were mentioning he doesn't have a relationship with his parents or his brother and sister. First of all, his brother and sister seem like they have a relationship, and he must be like the child that they didn't intend to have.
He's
But
the
what-
oops child.
He's the oops child.
Okay.
He's because it seems to be younger than them because, first of all, at the end of the movie, he's got a suit on. First of all, who wears the suit to the office and still lives with their parents? Seriously, in 1985, I don't think that's really something that was
He's a
happening
yuppie,
back
wannabe
then.
yuppie.
That's a
He's a
good
wannabe
point, Ken. I
yuppie.
never thought about that.
But what was he channeling his inner Michael J. Fox, Alex Keaton character?
He was.
Yeah.
It was 1985. You bet your
1985.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
That's the only time I saw a kid in a suit that still lived at home. But anyway, I thought.
Oh
that
man,
was
don't
kinda
you watch
weird
the
at end.
Goldbergs? That's Barry.
But yeah, but Barry's a unique.
Yeah, but
unique
Barry's still in
character.
high school.
And
Yeah,
she
these
must
guys
be
are
at least a year older if it's class of 84 in the picture, right? And it's 1985, and I'm
That's
assuming
right.
he's a senior
Yeah, I think Marty's a senior or close to it.
because he's got his
He's
driver's
17.
license.
He's 17.
He is
We know
17.
that.
Yeah, so he was born in 1968.
So he's either a junior or a senior. I would think a junior, and here's the reason why I think a junior. His dad, in
Junior.
1955, they asked him if he wants to run for class president. Well, that would be
Yeah.
something that you would do for the next year.
Oh,
Mhm.
fair. Okay.
So I'm thinking if he's the same age, they're probably, if they're 17, they're already in school, and that they're either juniors. They might
Good
be seniors,
pickup.
but maybe juniors.
We better pull out that video game for this backstory here.
Yeah, right.
I don't think we need any backstory. I think where we pick up these characters is right where they should be. But as far as themes go, I agree with Justin. I think it's a lot about discovering, that your parents had a life before they had you. We've all heard the stories from our parents about how they met, but to actually see it and witness it like Marty does is kind of jarring. It's kind of like, oh, these guys, they really were like us. I think that there's a lot of growth in that particular aspect, to have more respect for who your parents are and where they came from and things of that nature. I think that's a good theme to go with.
One thing I would add on to the friendship idea, I don't know if there are truly good friends in 1985 before all this.
Doc and Marty?
Yeah, I don't know if they are or not. Let's not forget that if the backstory is true about Marty having to be his assistant, that he might just be there to assist him in things. What gives us the idea that he might be close with him in 1985
He
originally?
hangs out with him at
He
1
seems really
1
close,
a.m.
though.
Yeah,
Well,
they seem really
the
close.
one
He
is-
goes into his house when he's not there.
Yeah, he's got
Well,
a key.
I mean,
like he goes underneath
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he knows where the key is, but he's an assistant.
I don't
Right.
read it that way.
I don't like. I hate that idea.
I don't
that
read
he's
it
an
that way at
assistant.
all.
I don't.
Then
Let's
you tell
don't
me,
even bring that.
you give me a
Let's don't-
backstory where they met.
You don't
picked
have
him up in
to.
high-
You can
he-
leave
he-
it to the theater of the mind.
Who cares?
He met him in grade school, and and has been friends with
I
him
mean-
ever since.
I
I mean,
think you waited
Wandering
30
around the
years to
halls.
you
yeah,
waited 30 years to talk to him
He's
about it.
he's what 30 years older than him. So you tell me how they became friends.
I don't
Does
know.
it matter?
It seems less important.
Does it really
like-
affect your love of the movie that much?
No, it doesn't affect the love of the movie. I don't know why
Okay.
you're taking it that way. You're telling me this is the perfect script, but we don't know how a 40-something-year-old is hanging out with a 17-year-old. And if you think they're bestie friends, they've been friends then for years. So that means that he must have met him way back, before
So-
high school. I mean,
Are you
it's
trying
kind
to
of
say
a-
that Doc Brown's a pedophile? Or
I'm
what
not
are you
saying
I
talking
think
that.
that's
about?
what he's
Boy.
saying.
I said that he was an assistant. You said that is a stupid idea,
I
and you don't like it.
You
So
know
you
what?
give me
I
another
don't
alternative.
care.
I think
don't-
Marty is an interesting
He
character
did.
that likes to escape from his family life. So, like, psychologically, Marty is going to Doc Brown's to be away from his house.
Right.
Doc Brown has money.
He's
right? So
eccentric.
chances
and
are
But
he's
it-
weird.
he's
and
But it
paying
doesn't make
Marty.
them best friends. I don't. That's what I'm saying. I think it's better, in my opinion, it's better that they're not best friends here, and that they grow their relationship through all this.
I think he's Marty's
That's what I
only
think.
friend besides Jennifer. Like, honestly, he has nobody else.
he has no other friends. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We don't know that because we don't get to see much of 1985 with him.
But
I mean,
from
he does
what we
have his
see,
he does
that's
have
the
his
evidence.
bandmates, the
He's got his own
pinheads.
band. That usually, if you have your own band, you have friends.
Unless you're,
I mean, you're-
Pinhead.
unless you're David Lee Roth.
And he's also somebody who doesn't take.
Pinheads.
He's also a guy who doesn't take crap from anybody. You know, we'll find out later that he doesn't like to be called chicken in the other movies.
That's
So-
that's the stupid. I hate that part of the plot. of the
But you
next
think
movie.
about like the whole idea of him too. Like if you guys look at the psychology of him, he's the youngest of three. You know,
Right.
he comes from kind of like a crazy family. He's lashing out to get all kinds of attention that he can get. Constantly in trouble with Strickland, it seems like. You know, and I mean, what you're saying
Slacker.
about like him being with Doc Brown, it's highly plausible. You know, anything like that. But I mean, it's just not like if we have to take it as rote, we just have to be like, well, this is what they're telling us, so we can fill in those plots with our imagination. But it's like, this is what he's saying. My read
mean-
on this is that him and Doc are close. That's
Yeah,
that's
it's-
why it's so affecting him when he gets shot. Because otherwise,
be
he'd be like,
just-
I'm getting
yeah,
the hell out of
it could-
Dodge.
It could be just as a simple thing as because Strickland says that he's an eccentric guy. Doc is. I mean,
He thinks he's a dangerous guy.
yeah, but he calls him a weird scientist or something like that.
I think he calls him dangerous.
He does.
Says
I
his
believe he
house-
says he's dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he says he's dangerous. It's like, yeah, well, okay.
I mean, does his
I mean,
parents know who he's hanging out with?
I mean, I don't think they care.
I don't know.
They
man.
don't know.
Like,
They're
they're a
not-
whole thing. Like the first incarnation of them are just a whole
All
thing.
right. Let's go on to the next question here, gentlemen. Okay. We'll do a round robin, yes or no. All right. We'll start off with Ken. All right. Doc Brown, pedophile, yes or no? Ken, yes or no? Okay. Justin, pedophile, yes or no?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
In any era.
Ted, pedophile, yes or no?
No.
I'm
I
going
would
to
have
say
thought
no.
He was asexual.
Okay, beautiful.
There wasn't a third
I would
movie.
say no as well, but he doesn't have a wife or anything
Asexual,
like that.
yes or no? Okay. Trying to get those on the fence listeners. All right. Wonderful. So we all agree Doc Brown, not a pedophile.
I
Beautiful.
mean, he does have a key
Okay.
to his room, so there you go.
Are you changing your answer, Ken?
Just
Dear God
No.
in heaven.
Okay.
Wow, the hard-hitting questions.
This is
this would
not
be-
where I
now,
thought
hard
this is starting to
hitting
sound like
questions.
now this sounds like the perfect screenplay. Okay,
Oh, jeez.
There we go.
I guess this
A
was
totally
written by
different
David
screenplay.
Mamet. Yes.
he's
David
he's
Mamet doing the fourth
he's
version
Epstein.
of Back to the Future.
He's
Doc
Epstein.
Brown,
Oh.
played by Alec Baldwin. Hey, Marty.
Oh, no. Jeez. All right.
Okay.
All right. Let's
Him
get
from
serious.
State and Maine, I should
From
say
this
that, not
SNL
actually
skit?
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah.
God, I didn't think that this
All
is
right.
where this podcast was going to go.
What challenges does Marty face when he travels back to 1955, and how does he overcome them? Does he overcome them?
I got one.
Ted, I know you do.
big-
What is it?
The biggest thing he has to overcome is his mom hitting on him and wanting to fuck him.
That's true. That was number top answer on the board.
Survey says number one.
Survey says that's
I mean,
right.
she is hot to trot for him, and it's kind of weird, but it's part of the
Very,
fun of the
very
movie.
weird. Yes.
Because it's awkward. It makes it's kind of fun. It works somehow, and I just because on paper it shouldn't work.
Yeah.
but it does.
But that's the point, like that gross factor of it.
Right. You laugh because it's uncomfortable.
So this is where I get a little confused about Lorraine in general. So originally she's supposed to fall in love
With George, who's a peeping
she's supposed to
Tom.
fall in
McFly,
love.
right? The peeping
Supposed to
Tom.
fall-
Yep.
Supposed to fall in love with George McFly because he fell out of a tree in the Florence Nightingale effect, right?
Yeah, his
Correct.
dad, her dad
Yep.
hit him with
But
the car.
she is kind of a very popular girl in school. She has friends. She's pretty.
Popular. I see where he's going.
I
Popular.
mean, you look at it, she's hanging out with everybody at the
Right.
malt shop or whatever that is. Why, and she's drinking and she's smoking, and she's like, this is not like my first rodeo. Why would she end up with George in any scenario?
Because the
If she
writers
is
told us
this-
she did.
Exactly. That's why sometimes I don't know if I agree with this as one of the greatest screenplays. Is this? Her character is kind of all over the place a little bit. So I don't know about.
I don't think so. I think she's in 1985. She's been beaten down by life.
Why has she been beaten down in life? Because she married
She hitched her
George.
She hitched her wagon to the wrong guy.
But my question is, why did
He hitched her
pick this
wagon
guy?
to George McFly, who is the same person he is in 85 and 55. He's
Right.
watching the same damn television shows.
Right.
Yeah.
Why was she interested in him when back in 1955 she was the it girl? She's the it girl. Why is she
Well,
going out with?
she even says that he's cute. Crispin Glover is not traditionally handsome, but he's not fugly either.
But she wants a
mean-
guy who takes charge, and he never took charge at any particular time. That's why she likes Marty to a certain extent, because Marty doesn't put up with Biff shit.
She
right?
liked
So-
she liked Marty from when he got hit by the car, though. So that doesn't
Right.
She
really
did,
track.
but it enhanced more as soon as she, became more of a, tough guy. And that's how George wins her over at the end. Is he proves to her, he saves her from Biff, and then saves her again from this other dork who tries to butt in during the dance. I just think her character is a little bit inconsistent. I would rather have seen her being the prune that she says that she was in 1955, because then
Well,
that's more accurate of why she would have ended up with this guy.
So you're telling me that you think a 17-year-old girl is inconsistent?
Exactly. Well, yeah.
I mean,
Dun, dun, dun.
yeah, right. I
Hello.
I mean, all her girlfriends would have been like George McFly. Everybody else in the school think George McFly is the biggest joke there is.
And
And you don't think
look
she-
at them. They take notice. I heard you laid out Biff. You should run
Mhm.
for class president. They all
Right.
take notice of him after that gesture, after what he did. Because he stood up when no one else would. I think that she just noticed something about him that we don't see, but it works for her.
Yeah, I just think her character that she's portraying in 1955 is kind of, it doesn't fit her being with George, regardless if it was a Florence Nightingale effect. I just don't think it really fits. I mean, you don't have to really think about it. I mean, you could just enjoy it for what it is. But this is a podcast, and my job is to kind of point out the obvious, right?
I mean, that's very fair.
All right, well, let's continue with discussion here on our characters. Biff Tannen, the perfect bully, the antagonist. What are your thoughts of Biff? Just the name alone says it all.
Give that man a damn Oscar.
I
he
love
was
that.
Yeah.
he was
Iconic
awesome.
performance. Like, it's irreplaceable by anyone else. Like, he chewed scenery when he was on. He's the quotable one of the movie. I mean, he's the breakout character of this film.
Because Biff is my favorite character. Well, maybe Emmett Brown's my favorite, but he's my second. But my biggest problem with this character is the rape scene in the car towards the end. I have a problem with them making Biff somebody who would rape a woman. That really bothers me. Because later on, he's forgiven and he, waxes their car and he's like their personal slave, I guess. But I think it's a little much to incorporate a rape scene.
Well, remember, this is right around the Revenge of the Nerds era of 1984. So
Yep.
apparently these type of scenes are quite unpopular.
I can see that the wheels in Ted's head are turning here.
He's a little frustrated.
The
that this
smoke
has
is
even
coming
been brought
out.
up. Yeah.
I mean,
Here
I
we
would almost
go.
argue that the prevention of it is really the more important part.
Right.
Because it's like
it is.
a lot of this, like we were talking about themes. A lot of this is like talking about like, oh, there are consequences for things that we do and all that, and it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, this is something that could happen and all that, and this guy is bad news, and it's like, how do you show that he's like absolutely bad? Well, make him do something terrible rather than just like picking on George or Marty.
But maybe you do something like you did in the dance. He is dancing and force dancing it with her, and that's where George comes and lays him out. Because I think the second, layout isn't really that important. You've already shown that you have been able to beat the biggest bully. Why do you have to pick on the scrawny kid who, granted he is also a mini bully, I guess, but I mean, it's not really as needed. Because I want to like Biff as the antagonist, okay? And put him in a situation where he's going to rape Lorraine. That is unnecessary. I don't.
But that's not something that's not indicative of the time or not indicative of the era or like of the age or like anything. Like that's something that was plausible happening like at the time.
Sure, I get that, but this is also let's be honest. What kind of film is this? It's a comedy. It's a family comedy, right? This is geared towards families, and it's a comedy. And to have a rape scene is, in my opinion, problematic, especially as the
not
years
really
have
a
gone by.
rape scene. It's more of
It's rape
let's
scene.
get.
I think it's like the idea that it's getting there. Yeah.
It's
he's
getting there. Yeah,
he's definitely forcing himself on her.
it is. It's on its way. I don't know. I never really occurred to me or thought about it.
She's scared. She's begging for his help.
It works with George.
That's
because
why it works.
Yeah.
I
like
think
you
he
needed
did
that gravitas.
I mean, he's obviously drunk.
He's 100% wrong. Like I'm
Not
not
an
gonna-
excuse.
I'm not gonna
Completely
stand up
wrong.
for
I am
it.
not excusing Biff's
Like,
behavior.
he is wrong.
Biff's behavior is horrible, and I
Bad
mean
Biff.
it's because he is the bad guy, and he's extremely frustrated because he's been cut off every time by all of the other characters. He keeps getting stopped and shortchanged, and now he has the opportunity to do something really bad, and he gets stopped again in the harshest possible way, which, based off of his behavior, he deserves to get knocked out by George. Let's be honest, in that whole scene, he's gonna break George's arm. He's gonna hurt George really bad.
Yeah.
And George stands up for himself and knocks him out.
Well,
he deserved to be
stands
knocked
up
out.
for himself because he pushes Lorraine down. See, that's where I'm
Right.
going with it. If like he's pushing himself on her during the dance, and he comes and does the same thing, and he's threatened to break his arm, and he pushes Lorraine down on the dance floor, it has the same effect. You don't have to be raped, is what I'm saying.
I guess if you're writing the movie, I guess.
Yeah, you keep using. I mean,
I keep using it because it's true. You tell me that's not a rape scene? You're fooling yourself if you don't think that's not a rape scene. He's got her pinned down to the ground with him on top of her, and she's scared out of her life. George, help me. That's rape. Sorry to say. You might not like it because you love the movie, but this is true. We could have probably done this a little differently. That's all I'm saying.
I like that, like, as much as I like Biff, like I was previously saying, like, the best part is seeing him get his comeuppance. Like,
Right.
that's the best part. It's like seeing that, like, good does triumph over evil, which is possibly another theme going back to it, but it's just like, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that I would, like, heavily sit on
That's
this.
fine. If you guys are okay with this being what it is, it's fine. I'm not saying that you need to have a problem with it. I have a little bit of a problem with it just because I just don't think because you don't really need the second punch of the push down of the kid. You don't need that. Why do you have to go a step down?
because
Yeah,
he stops them from kissing. I mean that.
But that could have been
because
done all
there's
in one thing. It could have been done all in one.
I think it shows that George changed as a person.
Yeah, because then George does stand up for himself and takes her back and shoves him to the ground. I think it all fits. Your bad guy's going to do bad guy things. It's troubling, yes. Okay, it's kind of like in the old silent movies when the girl is laid on the train tracks by the bad guy who's twisting his mustache. And the hero has to come along and rescue her from the train hitting her as she's on the train tracks tied up. This is essentially the same mentality here. She's in peril, and George saves her.
There's a difference. First of all, this is a teenage boy, and this is a comedy.
I think you're making it more than what it is. This is
I'm not
something
making
that's
it
been.
more. I think you guys are making it more than it is. I'm actually just stating something, and it's ruffled your feathers. So,
But you're taking something that's been done in movies since the silent movie era. I mean, this is a tried and true staple of some of movies where the heroine is in danger and in peril, and the hero has to come and save her.
Is that this kind of movie though, or is this a
kind
comedy?
of?
Is it a comedy?
I feel like there's parts of it that have that tone. Yeah,
he has to.
Like the stakes are high.
He becomes essentially a man.
You get the family line of like the Tannins throughout whatever, and it shows that they're always assholes and that they always get their comeuppance. He loses because he's a bad person.
I still think the movie it flows very well, and I really enjoy the movie, and it's one of the best movies that I can think of. You didn't need to go there, especially if I'm going to watch it with maybe a tad less bad here. I mean, he still needs to be knocked out, but I think the idea that to get George to be with Lorraine is for somebody to take advantage of her. I think that was a misstep. That's my biggest problem with this movie.
I look at it like this. My parents were very overly protective of what I watched. My dad had no problem watching this movie with me.
Yeah.
I never had to leave the room. I never had to do anything like that.
It's not graphic. So it's not it's not graphic, but if you think about what just happened.
Yeah, he's forcing himself on her. It's bad. He gets exactly what he's got coming to him.
I'm just saying, could you see it be done differently? That's all I'm asking.
But she has to be in the car at that time in peril, because the way Marty was setting it up, she was going to be in peril with Marty too.
Yeah. That was kind of what they were going for.
So earlier in the movie, you set it up already. Biff was hitting on Lorraine at the lunch table, and Marty came along,
and at the cafe, and
yeah.
Everywhere.
So you've already set up multiple times where this could happen. You could happen again at the dance as the final one, where somebody finally knocks his ass out. It could happen at the dance. It doesn't have to happen in a car. Maybe if he wasn't on top of her.
He's on top of her.
Yeah, then maybe I'm okay with it, but he is physically on top, and she is screaming for her life. And I didn't have a problem with it in 85. I have a problem more so now, later in life. That's all. So 85 me would not have had a problem with this because I was probably oblivious from it. Didn't really put that together. But 25 me is like, holy shit, he was raping her.
Well, look at it this way. Maybe it's something about Leah Thompson's performance that you're picking up on now. Mm-hmm. And, since you've seen things and you're like, wow, she's really, really afraid. She's doing a good job. She's really selling it hard. Maybe it's something like that you're noticing more because your sensibilities as a viewer have changed as well. So maybe it's just that it's that much more relevant to you now.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head right there. I think exactly that's how it is. Is Eric even still around?
Eric's on.
Oh yeah, no, I'm here, man. My attorney tells me to plead the fifth, so I'm just listening. This is quite entertaining. Shall we bring the tone down a little? Want to go a little bit lighter side of?
I don't want to mess with any reefer addicts.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's the only problem I have with this movie. So I'll be very, very happy moving forward. So,
well, let's talk about the racial terms that are used in this movie. Just kidding. Okay, so
wow. All right, yeah,
wrong.
Yeah, there are some there.
I think. I'm just kidding.
I blame Billy Zane.
Yeah, all right. It's outtake. 1955. Okay.
There's an actual outtake.
What's this outtake?
We won't include this probably. There's an outtake where he thinks that the way he might have messed up Lorraine and stuff like that, might make him gay later on in life. So they put that in there. Yeah, that could have caused him to become gay. It's in an outtake. Yeah, it's an outtake.
I don't want to watch any of these outtakes.
No, I saw the one where he did like the like the Mexican accent, but I didn't see the other one.
Yeah, and then Doc Brown's like, "What's the problem with being gay? You know, happy is a good thing."
Dude,
Yeah,
He's
I
so
don't
know.
oblivious.
I don't know what the hell movie you're watching.
I'm watching the outtakes.
What
on the
outtake
40th
is this?
On the
They
40th
have
Oh,
anniversary.
40th?
some of these
Okay,
scenes.
okay.
Yeah.
All of
Yeah.
a sudden, now we're back to Doc Brown being a pedophile again.
That's why you have deleted scenes.
That's right. Locked away in the Disney vault for years and years.
Yeah, no shit,
All
right?
Gentlemen,
Yes.
if you could travel back
God,
in
what question are
time,
you going to ask?
what time
now?
period would you choose and why? And no, you can't kill Hitler.
No killing baby Hitler.
What's that joke by Stephen
No
Wright?
killing
Eggs in the
adult Hitler.
Renaissance?
I would want my main teen years and early 20 years to be in the 70s. I feel like for like music and entertainment and stuff like that, I think that's the sweet spot. So if I were to travel back, even though I lived in part of my life in the 70s, I was as a little kid, I would have loved to have been a little bit more grown up in the 70s. And then really enjoy, maybe actually 60s and 70s, to enjoy seeing the Beatles and you know, all these other bands in their prime. Yeah, I just thought that would have been something special to see. Woodstock.
Yeah, spot on answer right there. I was just thinking, like, was it Yes had this album of a live performance from like 1973 called Yes Songs.
Mhm.
I'm like, I'd probably go back and see that show. That's what I would do. Then maybe, you know, Pink Floyd, Rolling Stones, all those sort of groups. Queen.
Ted, you?
Another movie makes the same question. It was a Woody Allen movie called Midnight in Paris. You always want to go back to a different era in which than what you currently live in, because you romanticize it. That's a tough question. I have to agree that late 60s, early 70s era, I identified with that a lot, because I felt that my parents, like, considering this movie we're talking about, Back to the Future, I felt that my parents didn't live their lives to the fullest in the late 60s and into the early 70s. I thought that they lived a very vanilla lifestyle, and I could picture myself not doing that. And as far as we're going, like, musically, I mean, we're talking the height of the pinnacle of music. But then in the 90s, we grew up with some really awesome music too. But there's something about seeing Led Zeppelin for the first time live for like $10. I mean, come on, man. There was so much creativity in that era. I think that's probably the era that I would go to, because I know Doc like has this fascination in going back to the Old West. know that doesn't interest me, because I've done enough research history to know that, yeah, that's probably a bad idea. Like, I would never want to go back and see and live in the 1860s during the Civil War, because I'd probably be dead, because 618,000 people died. And they were all men. The chances of you living, you have a better chance of living on the Titanic than you had from a male living through the Civil War.
Would you go back and maybe watch like Babe Ruth play or something, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if we're going back for just a one-off, yeah. I mean,
Time machine, do what you want.
yeah, if you're just going for a one-off, then yeah, see Babe Ruth play, you know, see the Gettysburg Address.
What would you do, Eric?
Go back 2 hours, 28 minutes to the start of this podcast to get my life back. You know, I don't know. I would love to see Elvis Presley in concert. I know Ted's love affair of Elvis Presley. So I would love to see Elvis
Good
Presley in
concert.
concert. Oh, yeah,
Which-
at the
which-
Aloha concert in Honolulu.
You would do the Aloha, or you wouldn't do the
Aloha or
comeback?
68 comeback.
The
One of those
68
two,
comeback?
yes.
Yeah.
That's
Those
really
I
cool.
think would be
Iconic.
incredible.
I'd be there for
And
the
hunt down.
Man Margaret rebound, if we're going to
Okay.
talk about Elvis Presley. So
Yes. All right, next question, gentlemen. Here's a tough one for you. Can you
Boy.
identify any plot holes or inconsistencies? I know it's a perfect screenplay, but let's dive deep.
I got one. How does he get into George's house, and how does George not realize that he put headphones on him while he's asleep?
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I mean, as far as major plot holes, I don't know. For a movie that deals with time travel, I think it's pretty concise.
How about the family members slowly disappearing on the photo? So if he alters time, wouldn't it automatically change it and it wouldn't be slow?
Yeah. And plus, would they be wearing
Maybe.
the same stuff? If history is being changed, would they be wearing the same stuff? Because one of my biggest problems here is, so he changes history, right? And
Apparently.
And okay, so where they live right now in 1985 is the ghetto of that neighborhood, right? But they are
Lions
rich and
Estates.
Not the nicest area. Yeah.
yeah.
I wouldn't say the ghetto, but
no, it's the ghetto. People even
In the second movie, it's
In the
definitely
second
that.
one.
Yeah.
well, in the first one, it also too. It's got some spray paint on. Some
There's a
of
little
the
bit of a
stuff.
good, but it is California, so
It's
take it with a
rough.
grain of
The
salt.
school's
But
pretty bad.
a little
So-
the
but
school's
if
pretty
you're-
beat up too.
But if you're successful and you're playing like tennis or whatever you're doing in the morning, why would you be living still there? Okay. And of course, Marty doesn't remember any of the changes, of course, this is why I like frequency when it comes to time travel movies. Okay. I think that actually does a better job. But I think the plot hole here is, okay, your life has not changed one iota, but everybody around you did. Your clothes are the same, your room's the same, where you live's the same. Everything is the same for you, but everything around you has changed. You still have the same girlfriend.
Butterfly effect, man. Like he gave Goldie Wilson the idea to become mayor, which made the town
Right.
better.
right.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying, but for him, nothing changed. He wakes up in the room and everything is exactly the same still. I think there's got to
When
be
you say
more
nothing
changes.
changed, though, things definitely did change, but he didn't notice them, and he went to bed. So things definitely changed.
They definitely changed, but what
Remember,
I'm saying
because he
is,
goes in through the gate to the house, like they have the same house and all that. His dad is not yet a successful writer until the end of the movie.
he's a successful something at that particular time. Either he's a commentator, like a newspaper guy, or writes articles for magazines, something. Because first of all, their house is remodeled.
Mhm.
It looks much nicer, right? They're coming from whatever tennis that at the club or whatever it is that they went to. I mean, everybody's dressed up much nicer in the house, but he isn't dressed up differently. His room looks exactly the same as it did at the beginning of the movie. I just think there would be some changes. I like the idea where other some time change movies do is they remember both timelines. If they would have had, Marty remember both timelines, start to remember, oh yeah, this now happened, this happened, but I remember when it was this. I like that idea for explaining
But
time changes.
he does remember.
He
because
does.
he's shocked about all those changes
What does he
to
remember?
his mom and dad and
He doesn't
everything.
lose any memories at all. Nothing changes.
Yeah,
for
he
him.
doesn't- he doesn't lose
He remembers
anything.
all the old memories, the ones before this incident.
Right.
What I'm saying, what other movies do well is that he remembers both. He remembers what it was before the change, and then he starts to remember, like frequency, remembers what happens after the change. I like that better. Just
You say
because,
frequency. I go back to X-Men 180 from 1981, which has like that sort of thing. They made a movie on it called Days of Future Past, where
Right.
it's like in the movie Wolverine was the guy that went back, but he would be the only one with knowledge of that. So
Mhm.
that's Marty here. He's the only one with knowledge because Doc Brown's knowledge ends 30 years ago. He's not caught
Right.
up to everything right now, so it's like Marty's got to tell him what happened.
But he's not in the. But when even Wolverine comes back in Days of Future Past, he doesn't come into the same situation because the school is gone, but the school is back in the new reality, right? So things have changed
But
drastically.
he has that moment where he has the epiphany and he gets his memories back or whatever. So it's something like that. Like it hits him like a truck. Here, Marty just exists outside of time. So when he gets to that point, I actually like your point, Ken, about how everything around him changed, because I didn't think that I realized that. You're right. In the end, everything looks a lot better than it did in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I didn't, you know, even the AstroTurf grass that was it Pete or is it Pete the bum? You know, on the bench or something, the AstroTurf grass and all that nonsense. But I think you make a good point about that. Everything did change around him, and it was those little things that he did, like making Goldie want to be, you know, I'm going to clean up this town, and he did. You know,
He did.
So I think that's a good point.
I mean, even Biff is waxing the car, so I mean, he's got somebody who personalizes waxing his own car, and he's like, "Hey, you know, make sure you know that second coat, man, right?" So that just tells me right there and then that they're also more well-to-do.
And keep in mind,
he's
too,
driving a BMW.
Biff isn't his slave or anything like that. Biff literally has a
let's-
detailing business for cars.
Yeah, let's
It's
tone
on his
that.
truck.
He comes in with the
let's
with
tone
the
that
books.
down.
Miss McFly. It's
Yeah,
I mean,
Mr. Fry,
oh,
your
hey,
books
Marty.
are here. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
tone that. Let's
Well,
tone
I mean,
that
the
down.
second movie
It's-
actually makes it seem like he's more of kind of a slave to them, right?
God, let's.
And that's why
How about
he
we
has
not?
to change his life.
How about we not use
Slave or rape or anything like that?
I mean,
Okay.
come on now.
who's got the word of the episode now, Ken?
Yeah, exactly. Rape and slave.
Drink up, bitches.
That's like a Nine Inch Nails song.
I know, right?
You're
I
okay.
don't see those as holes. I just think it's just part of the movie. When you're dealing with time travel, you have to suspend disbelief in some aspect.
You have to.
or
No, you're
another.
right. You
Yeah.
can't analyze every time travel movie and go, well, this is wrong, this is wrong. None of them
Right.
are right because it's time travel. You just gotta have
Right.
fun with it.
They do reference this when you come to other movies like Avengers Endgame, and I mean, like
Right.
Ready Player One.
It's been so
I don't think
long
I've
since I've
seen
seen
that
that
movie in
stupid
forever.
movie.
But there are plot holes here. But it's okay that there's plot holes. Like I said, I don't think it's the perfect screenplay that everybody makes it out to be, but it doesn't mean that it's not a perfect movie. You know, there's a difference. You know,
People a lot smarter than us about movies think that it is. So
I do agree with Ken though.
It's
but
opinion.
It goes back to what
It's
I was
opinion.
saying. It's the actors that elevate the screenplay more than just the
Yeah.
screenplay.
yeah, exactly. That's why I think it's a great movie.
I think
not
Galaxy
necessarily
Quest is a better screenplay. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I might agree with you on that.
Yes or no? Principal Strickland has a
Yeah.
bow tie. Can you trust people with bow ties?
no.
Justin, yes or no?
No, just like Ken Rosenthal, right?
Thank you. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Someone has
Yeah.
been listening to the podcast. Thank you.
And Illinois
And a former Paul Simon. That's right.
Paul Simon. No.
That's
Tell
right.
that to him in the second movie when he has that shotgun.
The police officer from Masters of the Universe, and I'm like, it's Strickland.
I know, right?
Talk about being
He was also-
typecast, right?
He was also in a movie called Armed and Dangerous with John
Yes, he
Candy
was.
and
Yes, he
good
was.
shot.
And
Very
Yeah.
funny in that.
yeah.
By
Yeah.
Mike from Better Call
Yeah.
Saul.
Oh wow.
If you could add a new character to the story, who would it be? And how would they affect the plot? It could be a character in 55, 85.
You know what? I would have probably,
Tough.
instead of Joy being a baby, have him be the oldest kid and give Marty a hard time.
I
You
like
could tell
that.
that maybe you could tell that he's going to be in prison sooner than later. I don't know if I like the idea of a baby being thrown into prison later on, but
I would
and
give him
maybe it's
Styles
Marty,
from
and maybe
Teen
it's
Wolf.
Marty is the reason why he goes to prison.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah, that'd be
Well,
funny.
that's changing character. That's not adding a character.
It's not much of a character though, so it could be.
I mean, it's a very minor thing.
I think if
I
you
mean-
did it that way, I think it became a major thing.
I mean, would you want to give Marty a sidekick?
No,
I mean, he already has a sidekick in Doc.
It wouldn't be necessarily a sidekick. It could just be another person it's instead of that stupid redhead kid from school, replace him with an older version of Lorraine, like a Lorraine's brother. And he gives him shit, gives him a hard time, and causes him to go to jail for the first time.
Yeah,
So
I don't want to add anybody to this script. I think
You want to see
adding
like
somebody.
McFly knife someone in the parking lot or something?
I mean, Ken's making this out to be like Hamlet.
Would you add Chuck Berry?
Okay.
Yeah.
If we're gonna
Chuck Berry
go that,
cameo.
have the band be somebody like a no-name band at the time, but they end up being famous.
kind of like Forrest Gump, where you have Elvis in Forrest Gump's
Oh, so
room.
they show up. They show up again in '85.
Yeah, I worked with a lady who grew up in Wichita, Kansas, and Kansas, the band actually played their prom.
They would
Oh,
probably
yeah.
play a prom now too.
Were they awful then
Prom.
too?
Oh,
in
that's
97.
prod rock,
I saw
man.
it is not prog rock. Let me just
If
tell you.
Hootie and the Blowfish can play a rib fast, I think Kansas can come out
I
and
saw
play a
them
prom.
open for ZZ Top, and they were terrible. 1997, and it was just like,
They're
So I
This
can't
is
even
20
imagine.
years after their prime. Was it any of
Yeah.
the original members at that point? I
it
mean,
doesn't matter.
they're practically a cover band of themselves.
They were actually called North Dakota now.
Yeah, they're called.
Yeah.
They've changed.
To
their
answer your
state
question, I
name.
would add the music group Kansas to this movie,
I mean,
all
Who are
wearing
you-
bow ties.
who are you really conceivably going to add to this cast to make it
I'll tell you what I would like. I would like actually a
more
little
bow
bit
tie?
more backstory, no bow ties,
Oh, Lord
on the
have mercy.
Libyans. I want better Libyans.
You want better?
I don't want the
Libyans.
cheesy,
You want-
stereotypical Libyans. I'd like to see him like actually making the deal with the Libyans and getting the plutonium and giving them the bomb with clock parts.
Okay.
Maybe him meeting Gaddafi or something. I don't know. Just something totally out of
It's interesting.
the realm. Yeah,
Maybe
Whenever
add-
anybody brings up Gaddafi, it just reminds me of the stand-up from Robin Williams, Colonel Gaddafi's Chicken.
Maybe
Uh,
allow black people to go to the school.
That's different than adding a character, I guess. But
wow.
wow.
I mean,
This is an all-white school, isn't it? Come on,
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, you're right. There's
they-
a severe
yeah.
lack of diversity, but it's 1955, and it's like we didn't even get into that aspect.
But it's California, though. Still, I mean,
You know,
it
if
should
you
be.
if you look at their car too, I think
California was hardcore Republican until like the mid '80s.
I think the band was actually living in that car because I don't think it could stay in hotel rooms. Did you see the back seat of the car when they're trying to get him
damn,
out of the
dude.
trunk? The whole back seat is just
All of a
covered
sudden,
with,
all of a
like,
sudden,
blankets
Back to the all of a sudden, Back to the Future just turned into a rape fantasy and Mississippi Burning all in one. I don't think the addition of another character is going to help this movie. I think it would just hinder this movie because then that could create plot holes. I don't think that there's a massive plot hole here. I think there's little pinpricks that make little bitty holes, but there's nothing that's like glaring that stands out as like this is wrong and this is a big hole that you can't explain. They didn't do anything as a travesty like what George Lucas did.
I did want to mention one of the producers on this was Kathleen Kennedy, just to kind of
Yeah, I saw
throw that out there.
good
I
jab.
hate
Good
her.
jab. Yeah.
She doesn't deserve a job.
What are we missing, folks? What are we missing?
Well, I mean, if
Hardcore
you want to
nudity.
involve PETA, there's like a raccoon skin
No.
hat, at one point. So-
Dude, you guys are
No.
missing the most blaring elephant in the
That's
room.
it.
No, there's no hardcore
No.
nudity in this movie. What haven't we brought up? We haven't brought up drugs,
Oh, drugs, yeah.
Gentlemen,
Drugs, alcohol.
cocaine. It's a DeLorean.
Oh, God.
John
yeah,
DeLorean was doing time by 1982 for drug trafficking, and here we are in 85 with a DeLorean. It comes with the optional snow tires. That's
Wow.
that's a Joan Rivers joke, actually. I
Yes,
still
that
have to
is. It's
But yeah,
that's
DeLorean,
hilarious.
man. Would
I
you,
mean,
if
yeah.
you could, would you use a different car than the DeLorean?
Never.
Well, they were talking
man.
about using the Ford
It's
Mustang.
too iconic now, right?
It's
Yeah.
too iconic.
Solid
You
steel
can't-
frame.
Yeah, you can't change
Do you
it now.
guys know
Slow
anything
ass.
about the DeLorean? Do you know anything about the
Yeah.
DeLorean?
Yeah.
He was a
It is a
he was a
shitty
complete,
car.
it was a horrible car. It was like
The car was a
a
piece
horrible
of
car.
shit.
And
yes.
they had constant
I don't think it could get
troubles
up
with
to
the car
88
on
miles
set.
per hour, to be
No,
honest with
no.
you.
Ford was willing to pay $75,000 to let them use a Ford Mustang in this movie.
No, don't use a Mustang. Mustang, no. I don't want a Mustang.
Ken, where was that tidbit?
Yeah, where was that
I
tidbit?
didn't want to use all the tidbits because that, you know,
He's spreading them out. He's spreading them out. Okay.
I mean, for
All
time
right.
for time purposes.
I mean,
yeah.
when I think of the Mustang, I think of Gone in 60 Seconds, and I think of Bullet, Steve McQueen's car in Bullet.
Which
They should-
came
of
out in
course.
what year?
1968.
Bullet was 68.
So
yeah.
68. So from 55 to 68, you want to tell me that they don't
the
understand what a Mustang looks like?
The Mustang had a precipitous drop in its popularity from probably about 74 on into the 80s.
Yeah, that's when like Pontiac took
Well,
over.
it's also when if we're going to turn this into the Auto Trader magazine, it's also when catalytic converters came in 75 and horsepower was cut in half. You had the
Right.
Mustang 2, the cute little one that Charlie's Angels drove around, the Mustang Ghia. There's a whole bunch of issues with that, but that's a different podcast altogether.
I have the perfect vehicle though for this:
Oh, Lord.
the Queen Family Truckster from the Vacation movie.
No.
That's the perfect
Ford
one.
LTD,
What about a Studebaker? You
the
know?
family
reason-
Or a
truckster,
Tucker.
the wagon
Why not
frame.
a Tucker? Right?
The reason the DeLorean works is because it has the gold
It's
wing
an all
doors.
steel body.
Yeah.
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 Steel body too, I think is key.
It's
Because he
Yeah.
also says everything's lead lined. So do you buy that a Mustang is
Right.
lead lined? How?
Yeah, no.
You know?
Not at that time.
You buy the
think it ever
DeLorean's
was.
lead line, and how does the car go through time and like the tires don't melt and windshield? I know I'm reading into it.
How does the vehicle
does get
go
cold.
past them? It does get cold.
Yeah.
How does the vehicle go past them and have all those flames, but doesn't burn their shoes or their pants up when it flies right by?
And
them?
how do you
They're
get
just
to
standing there.
88 miles
pothole
per
right
hour
there.
in a mall parking lot? A mall parking lot doing 88.
Yeah, where are the cops here? Don't they show up at
Yeah.
any particular
Yeah, the
time?
town
Well,
is
if they don't come
deserted
for
at 1.
gunfire,
Yeah.
The cops
I mean-
should have stopped the Libyans.
I do think though that there's something about like Doc Brown on how he was, paying the cop off in 55 about like, yeah, I've got my permits right here. So I
Right,
think he was
right.
up to something at that mall. And I
Maybe
read into he probably
maybe he
I
paid
think
was
they
in
somebody
should have
else.
business
done
with
that.
John
They should have
DeLorean.
done that in 1985, where he's paying them off to be there as well. That would have been cool.
But then they should have saved him from the Libyans.
But they would have left him to be by himself. We were talking about how they cleaned up Hill Valley after all the
Right.
changes, but don't you love what Hill Valley has become? It has porn bookstores and porn movie houses.
All of a sudden,
and
it's Times Square.
I swear
Yeah.
it's like the worst place ever you could live or bring up children. I mean, everything around them is just so bad. You're the one who says the greatest screenplay of all time.
I didn't say that it was the greatest screenplay of all time. I said USC uses it in their class talking about
and you said
perfect screenplays.
and you said USC smarter than we are.
Cool.
Look at the people who have come out of USC to become directors. It's like NYU.
Oh, I was
it's
thinking
NYU.
O.J. Simpson, but not
It's like
directors.
it's
Yeah.
like NYU, man.
Well, he has been in movies.
I mean,
He has.
it's like
Do you
NYU
agree with their
is.
assessment or not, Ted? That's what I'm
That it's a
asking.
perfect script. It comes close. Whenever you're, I think it's hard for any movie that's a time travel movie to be what would be considered a perfect script. So do I agree with them? Probably not. I don't know if this is one that I would probably choose. This is one that they choose, and I would like to ask somebody why they choose it.
Definitely has
As
like
to why?
3 clear acts for sure. Like a
I mean,
beginning,
yeah,
a middle,
I
and
mean,
an end.
It has a distinct good guy and a distinct bad guy. You know who the bad guy is, and you know who the good guy is, and you know who the helpers are. I think it's great that way. I think it's a great script. I think that the people who were turned it down 44 times were very short-sighted, and they didn't see how movies were going in the mid 80s. Everything was shifting. It was shifting because, I mean, after this movie, you have Total Recall. We mentioned RoboCop. You have RoboCop, and you have the Terminator.
Terminator
I mean,
2, yeah.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
why we're including RoboCop in all this, but what I'll say really
Sci-fi.
quick is the 44.
Sci-fi.
Well,
Detroit.
yeah, but RoboCop, when we talk about like perfect type of movies, RoboCop is definitely
It's
not
not.
one of
Well,
them.
movies that were
Definitely
turned
not.
down 44 times.
But
RoboCop.
44
Right.
times, let's not forget.
I'm just saying they didn't see how
They also didn't have the same ending on those 44 times that they went. The ending came much later. It got rejected because of the nuclear bomb thing also
that
at the
is-
end of the...
That's
That is
valid.
completely.
I mean,
that's
Tell
completely.
me
stupid.
about this ending.
So basically the nuclear bomb ending was them going to a nuclear bomb site, really waiting for they had something in the car that would have ignited a nuclear blast that would allow the car to then travel back to 1985.
Wow,
Some-
that doesn't
yeah.
sound very
in
Zemeckis-like.
1955, instead of lightning, it would have been a nuclear blast.
Yes, because they were doing nuclear testing still in 1955.
Yeah, but not in California.
Yeah, that's awful. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just
I mean,
implausible.
they were doing that in Nevada and New Mexico.
And they may have gone to Nevada to do that. I don't know. I don't know how far Nevada would have been from where they were in
Hill
California.
Valley, California. I don't know. It seems like Hill Valley, California is just classic 80s California.
Ted, your favorite scene in the movie.
I know what Ken's isn't.
Favorite.
I love it when he plays Johnny B. Good.
there it is.
I
Really?
look forward to that. Yeah, I look forward to that scene every time.
That's
I
yours
like
too,
it.
Justin?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I like the way he mimics
Angus Young,
Angus
Hendrix.
Young, Jimi Hendrix,
Chuck
and,
Berry.
Chuck
Berry,
Berry.
Does it set him up
yeah.
for the 1987 release Light of Day with Joan Jett?
wow.
That is a guilty pleasure of mine, I must say.
He also mimics the lead guitarist from the Who.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it's
Pete
so
Townsend.
Yeah.
much though at the end there. I like the fact that he's playing the song and I like the tribute to Johnny B. Good and he's doing the little kick thing and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's doing
I
the
like
duck
that.
walk.
But I do get a little annoyed by that they go over the top with it. Yeah, I'd rather see him play the whole song because one of the big things was to prove that he could sing in front of a live audience, right? That's he's never had a gig like that before, and basically his gig ends the same way that it basically does in his rehearsal.
It's
But
too
he
loud.
learns from it
It's too
because
It's too loud.
he didn't get to finish
he
his
learn?
other song.
But he barely finishes
Wow.
this song because he goes off a tangent and realizes that he needs to stop.
Damn.
Everybody's
You guys are so far off the mark on this one.
Okay. What's
Ted?
yours, Eric?
Well, I haven't even given mine
No.
yet, but go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm surprised, White Man Invents Rock and Roll, that you would go that direction.
Oh, jeez.
I'm so
Wow.
surprised.
I mean, come on.
I just like
Ted.
the scene. I like how
Wow.
he's playing it and his hands
Yeah.
I
disappearing.
like that, Eric. I
The
really like
stakes are
that.
really
Thank
high,
you.
and he's
Wow.
playing.
I've been holding that one in for a while, actually. So yes,
I'm holding
yes.
it down.
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
yeah. That's like your Elvis Presley inventing rock and roll, Ted. I know you love that one. I love it when he puts the headphones on George and plays
George,
the Eddie Van
yeah.
Halen.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Simple.
Edward Van Halen, right?
Edward
Van Halen, and I love his
Why-
reaction.
Why the hell did Van Halen turn down the use of Van Halen music in this movie, but they allowed Van Halen music into the movie?
Here
Better
we
Off
go.
Dead?
Here we go. Yep.
If you don't know yet, Ted doesn't like Better Off Dead.
What do you-
I don't understand why you would.
because everybody wants some.
That's right. At least he wasn't playing Jump.
Oh yeah, that would be.
I
I
weird.
hate that
That'd
song
be really
so
weird.
much.
Should have
Yeah.
played Eruption.
Well, yeah. Honestly,
well,
I
it's
think
kind of like
that's what they
Eruption.
were kind of going for.
It was
Kinda
kinda like
going
it.
for, yeah.
I would say any scene that Doc Brown is in, especially when he gives his facial impressions, like when he finds out that Marty's mom has the hots for him. He gives this weird look about it.
Yeah.
When
Or old
Marty
man
tries
Peabody
to-
in the trees.
Yeah. When Marty tries to step away when he's having the DeLorean go really fast, Marty starts to walk away from him, and he gives him a look like, "No, you ain't going anywhere. You're staying right here with me." All the facial expressions that Doc gives during this, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I think he's the reason why I love this movie is Doc Brown. By far, he is the number one reason why I love this movie.
Christopher Lloyd was the perfect cast
Yeah.
for this movie.
He's so good. I also really like the skateboard chase that ends with the manure in the car.
The manure.
I always like
That's
that
a good one.
You
That's a good scene.
It's
Yeah.
good too. There's a lot of really good scenes. I don't necessarily like that they had intended on not making a second movie, and they put "to be continued" at the end of the movie, regardless. I think
History of
that's
the world.
I think that's kind of a dick move.
Well, originally they say that they didn't include "to be continued" originally. That it was added on later and at later showings once they realized it was a hit. That's what the tidbits would say.
George
It's
laughing like a
awful.
hyena watching the honeymooners.
Yeah, I could have done without that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Something like that.
The less or the least amount of Crispin Glover that I could get in this movie would be the best. That's what I would say. To me, he's the weak link. I find him just kind of like all over unappealing, and he would be the weakest link that I would say in this movie. So if they're giving him something other than like when he punches Biff, I'd just feel like, yeah, I'd want to pick on this guy too.
Yeah,
Crispin
he
Glover
did.
sued,
Sued him.
for his
Didn't he
likeness.
also lose that suit?
No, he
No,
won
he
it.
won.
Oh, he did
actually.
win?
No, he won it.
He's a method actor too, which is kind of
He's-
interesting.
Very.
Well, he's a meth head?
Very.
Yeah. No,
Give
yeah.
me Matthew Modine over
And
him
this
any
is one of
day.
his earlier. This is one of his
He's very
earliest films.
eccentric.
Very
He's
eccentric.
very eccentric.
I mean,
Matthew Modine was actually up for the part of Marty McFly.
He'd be a better
I don't
George
see that.
McFly.
He's too busy
He
doing
was a
Vision
little bit
Quest.
old for Marty McFly, though, in
Yeah,
my
I
opinion.
think so too.
Because at this point, he was doing Full Metal Jacket.
I thought Full Metal Jacket was
No,
1989.
Full Metal Jacket's 87.
87.
He was
Was
doing
that
Vision
right?
Quest.
So yeah, it's like
He's
right
doing
in
Vision
line
Quest in
there.
85.
Vision Quest. Yeah,
Banging
he was a high
Madonna.
schooler in Vision Quest. Yeah.
Valley
One of the movies I
Girl.
remember him from is Willard
Willard, yeah.
and
Full
the
Throttle.
Charlie Angel movies.
Yep.
Where he doesn't really speak. He just screams. But he doesn't kill the movie for sure. I think the weakest thing is just the puns that they're trying to throw in. They're like, okay, give me a tab. Oh, give me a Pepsi free.
Yeah.
Pepsi free. The,
You Pepsi
And-
free.
of the
yeah.
era of
I
1985,
love it.
right?
Those doesn't hold up since especially those are not even around anymore. But then he has a regular Pepsi later on.
He does.
So it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
George
like,
helps
what
him
is-
open it.
When he asks for the tab and when he asks for the Pepsi free and he just says, "Give me something with no sugar," does he give him coffee?
Black
Yeah.
coffee.
yes.
That's what I thought. Okay, all right.
Mm,
It's a
yeah.
little different than carbonated beverage.
He
But all right,
pays
whatever.
would change because you can hear him slap it down, and I'm like, I
Mhm.
wonder if they're checking the date on those quarters.
I know, right? But those quarters better not be from 1985. There's a plot hole for you.
Yeah, there you go.
If there was one prop that I'd want from this movie, I want that jukebox
Oh,
from
interesting.
1955.
That's a great question too.
Yeah, that jukebox that's killer.
And don't you think they'll get a little angry of him for ripping out a page out of the phone book in his
Of course you would have. That's
They
it
were
wasn't it a
sus of
federal
him
offense?
to begin with, anyway. What, did you jump ship?
Yeah, what
to
do you
the
jump
life
ship?
preserver.
Yeah, life preserver. I don't like that. Yeah, when he first meets Doc in 1955, and he has the thinking thing on,
Yeah.
everything that Doc
Yes.
says is actually true. He did travel a long way. He traveled back in time. What, 20 or 30 years?
He only got one question right out of all those, so I don't know.
No, he didn't. He
Yeah,
traveled.
got-
He traveled along. He traveled.
He wants
a long way.
donations. Yeah.
He
Or
wants
the Youth
donations,
Auxiliary?
Because
right?
they asked him if he was a member of the Coast Guard,
which he's not.
but he says to Lorraine's parents that he's a part of the Coast Guard.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does. When he comes
does, Ken.
downstairs
He
and
really
they're
does. Just to
At
shut him up.
at the dinner table, he does say it.
He also tells them that he knows their mom.
Well, yeah, he does.
He does.
And his parents are out of town, so somehow they go from Coast Guard to being a high school student again.
Her
No, he's
mom
not
is
in-
very nice in that whole thing, and the dad is
Well, they're
such
very.
a
I love the
prickly
dad.
pear. He's so
if
funny.
you have a kid like that, I'll disown you.
Sonya,
idiot.
Yeah.
Right.
He's an
He's an
idiot.
idiot.
Yeah.
Parents
Love
are
it.
idiots.
Yeah.
I do like the model that Doc Brown builds, and it looks
Mhm.
really good. He's like, I'm sorry that I didn't get to build it up to scale, but it's such
And
a
it's
cool
re-
looking
it is
model.
Trying to get to
good.
paint the
It's, like,
model. Yes.
amazing. Yeah. There's a lot
Doc
of
Brown
fine
has-
details like that in this film, I think. So yeah, good point.
And then he freaks out. Is that facial expression again when the car goes on fire and then it
He's-
starts a little mini fire?
Yeah, he's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Again,
Old fashioned
For Lloyd
fire
is-
extinguisher.
yeah. I think Christopher Lloyd doesn't get enough credit for this movie being so awesome.
I mean, they did create Rick and Morty. I mean,
They did, but I mean,
He's
when people talk about this, they
immortalized.
talk about Michael J. Fox. But I think this
He's
is
kind
really a
of,
Christopher
like,
Lloyd.
super charismatic in this movie. So
Okay. All right. I've just thought of a question. It's not a yes or no. Do you prefer the second movie or the third movie? What would be your ranking order? Justin,
1, 2,
of
3.
the ones you like. So you're sequential.
I like them all. I could see them all as like a one long thing together. Yeah.
1, 3, 2. I think there's a lot of plot
yeah,
holes in 2 that I struggle with.
I'm 132 as well. Because if you want to talk about a script with plot holes, going back in time twice creates even more problems, especially because they see each other. So
I used to be 1, 2, 3, but now I'm also 1, 3, 2.
yeah, it's 132.
I
Yeah.
do like
And-
3 a lot. I will say that, but like I kind of
I
see
love
it
it
all
for
as
its
one,
easy
and I'm like,
tops.
you know what? It's just a complete story.
The 3 and 2 are nowhere close to 1 as far as how good it is.
No.
Not even
Three,
close.
I think
three
it's fine.
captures.
Yeah.
I think 3 captures more of what 1 is. It has more of the same type of feel to it, more of the jokes and stuff like that, more of the comedy. 2 just gets really too serious for its own good.
Christopher Lloyd wanted a third movie where they went back to ancient Rome. I'm
Yeah.
glad they didn't do that.
Oh,
No, I'm not. That would have
no.
been harsh.
Bad.
I mean, that's
that-
Bill and Ted's. You know?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a big That's negatory Ghost Rider.
Maybe a fourth
system
movie
is full.
where it keeps on sending them like a Bill and Ted to different places.
That's why we
they
have an
can't
animated series.
Reviews, gentlemen. Ted, you kick us off.
I love this movie. I've loved it since the first time
Shocking.
I watched this movie. There's nothing in this movie that I don't like. It's a quintessential movie that you must see. I've never met anybody that didn't like this movie. There's so much you can say here. The characters are all great. They're well written. It's very concise for a time travel movie. It doesn't try to recreate the wheel, and it's straightforward, and you get what you get. There's a bad guy, a good guy, and the good guy wins, and you're happy about it, and you like the character arc and how Marty comes through, and the awkward situations that he finds himself in, I think are interesting. I love the themes of this movie too. I think that it all fits. This movie is a 5-hook movie for me. I don't see how you could go any lower than 5 on this, because this. I mean, when you think of the '80s, you think of Back to the Future is right up there with Indiana Jones and Empire Strikes Back and all of those movies. It's right there.
Ken, do you agree? 5 hooks?
No, I don't agree. And I had already put up that he had 5, right when after his first sentence. So, I mean, this is what Ted's 120th 5-star movie out of 150 movies that we've done. Anyway,
Butthead.
yeah. Why don't you make a tree and leave? I would say this. It's a great movie, and yes, it's one of the most iconic '80s movies. I kind of agree with Justin, though. I think Glover kind of brings. He's the weak link here, and I kind of think he brings it a tad down. I would have liked to seen maybe somebody else with better
Everything.
almost better everything, to the point where, he's nerdy, and and you can see why he isn't being able to find a girl or whatever the case may be, and has no friends, and a better transformation to what he becomes. I want to buy him as that guy at the end that actually knocks out Biff and actually wins the girl. I still don't believe it. Even 1985, when we see him with her, I still don't buy him and her together. That's just me, though. Everything else around it is great. Michael J. Fox, it's awesome that they were able to wait for him and get him. What a perfect move. I mean, I don't think they've done this very often. I think this is only a few times they've done where they've filmed like at least half the movie and then decided to go with a different lead actor. So, I mean, that's guts. That's ballsy. And, kudos for them for doing that. But Christopher Lloyd is why this works. You could say it's the storyline and everything like that, but without the actors, as we said earlier, this is just a good movie. But it is a great movie. It's not a 5 hook, but it's 4.5 hooks. I enjoy this immensely. It's one that doesn't get old, and one that I can easily go back and watch at any time.
I agree with Ken. This is a movie that obviously is sparked from our childhood. It's a great movie. It's got some flaws, but you know what? I overlook the flaws in this movie because it flows so well. It really is a seamless movie, and kind of to quote Ted there, I've never met anyone who doesn't like this movie either. Everyone I know who's seen this movie loves it and speaks very, very positively of it. So that has to tell you something. It's a Robert Zemeckis classic. He's got a few of them out there. Forrest Gump comes to mind. This is probably one of his top movies, if not the top movie, one that he'll be remembered for. And it really put Michael J. Fox on the map. Yeah, you had Family Ties, but then when it comes to movies, this put him on the map. It's a great movie. Yeah, he did Teen Wolf this year too, didn't he? In '85.
Yes, he did. Yes.
Which one came out first? Do you know?
Actually, Back to the Future, I think, came out first, but Teen Wolf was made before.
Oh, they held on to it
Didn't they hold on to it?
Yeah.
Written by Jeff Loeb, who is a prolific comic book writer. So, I don't know if you knew that. He also wrote Commando.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I enjoy watching it. And you just don't take it seriously. It's time travel. Just watch it, enjoy, have fun. Justin, take us home.
You've got to have this on Laserdisc, right?
I do have this on Laserdisc, yes.
I figured, yeah.
I do.
For a movie about
and
time
VHS,
travel,
yeah.
to be timeless. And what I mean by that is, will people be enjoying this movie in 100 years? I think the answer is yes. I think that there's a mass appeal to this that hits people of all ages, of all eras and all that. And it's not just us looking back on this with nostalgic eyes. It's not like something along those lines. We may remember 1985, but we don't remember 1955. I think there's no doubt in my mind this is a 5-hooker. Absolutely. 5 hooks. It's rewatchable.
Did you say hooker?
Yeah. Do you not say hookers on this? Okay, it's a 5 hook. That's all she wrote. It's 5 hooks.
Shout out to Alan Silvestri for his score of this movie as well. This is one of the weird ones. This is one of those ones that you think John Williams probably did it, and he didn't do it. That's how
sounds
good
like John Williams too. Yeah,
I kind of thought the same thing. So yeah,
that's how good this score is. That you actually think that John Williams had to do this score.
So my last tidbit on that, on the music, Huey Lewis actually wrote "Power of Love" for the movie, but it got rejected, so he had to go back and create the song Back in Time. They still include Power of Love on here, but they were like, this is not what we wanted. So that's a little tidbit right there for you, that they had to go out, and that's why there's 2 songs by Huey Lewis on this album.
I like Huey.
Oh, I love Huey Lewis in news. It's a shame that he lost his hearing.
It is sad.
Yeah, but I guess I think he's the musical director for the Back to the Future play that Eric was talking about earlier.
Yeah,
nice.
I believe
was he? Okay.
He was, yeah.
Ken, what are we going to be looking at next?
So we're going to stick with our 1985, our salute to 1985, with the great Chevy Chase and the movie Fletch.
That
All
won't
right,
be problematic
Fletch.
at all.
Not at all. Wait till we get into some of those norms, everybody. You're gonna love it. So definitely stay tuned for Fletch, and as always, see you back in time.
See you at the movies.
See you next time on Hooked on Movies.